All right, hey people. Today is November 9th, 2024. I'm Chris Lucas. This is my show, The Protestant View, which I may be changing the name pretty soon. This channel might not even be on YouTube much longer because I really don't feel like dealing with the YouTube, to be honest. And if they take me down, I could care less, to be honest, at this point. Um, but anyway. So I just want to do a second attempt at a video I did earlier today, which was on YouTube. As you can see right here, it is. If I was to refresh the screen, it would disappear because YouTube just banned it maybe about 3 hours ago, something like that. So, and I got some warning that just came across on my phone 3 hours ago that they took it down. So I'm going to try to just make this real quick this time. So I can't get into, if people want some more details or some more background, because basically in my other video, I explained my background to leading up to even Trump being elected the first time. Um, and a lot of other details, and I can't get into it because if I do, I'll basically be going into the other video, and I'm just going to keep it short. So let me just play what JP said. Now, if you look over here to the side, I do have some things that you can see that I said prior to that, right? Because I say JP are making excuses for Trump because he could have wrote into, I meant to say warp speed, but I was at work using voice type. But he could have wrote into warp speed that it was experimental and never could be mandated. Nothing stopped Trump from doing that, right? I'm pretty sure if Trump's the 4D chess player that everyone says he is and thinking a million steps ahead of everyone, and he's so super smart and he's got all these perfect advisors. Remember, he's supposed to have a dream team of advisors. He's supposed to have just the best people that are secretly helping him, right? So he should be able to think of things like this. But anyway, but Trump was bashing Sweden, and that was after the antibody test results came out, which showed COVID was. I won't, you can read it yourself, right? I'm not really sure what YouTube's going to ban me for saying, but we can see what I wrote here, right? So let me just give you some context for that. Trump did bash Sweden for locking down. I mean, for not locking down. He says they're going to pay heavy. This is on April 30th of 2020, right? Well, we know that they had these tests that came out. Where is that? Antibody test. Oh, yeah, right here. Here's an article about it. California antibody studies suggest infection rates were higher, but experts warn the data could be flawed. But if you read other publications, they don't go, "Oh, but it could be warned." You gotta think it depends on who you're reading it from, right? This is Politico, okay? Just remember who runs Politico. But anyway, results from preliminary antibody studies conducted in northern and southern California hotspots indicated coronavirus could be far more prevalent. That means it's more spread out and more people have it than what is previously thought. But experts warn it's too soon for policymakers to factor in the findings to their decisions. An early, large-scale study released Monday found that the virus could be 28 to 55 times more prevalent than reported in Los Angeles County. So they take this survey in Los Angeles County and they say, wow, 28 to 55 times more people could actually have it. Okay, so let's say that they go, this thing looks so deadly because 5 out of 1,000 are dying from it. But now, instead of saying, now, I don't think that's bad enough to lock anything down. 5 out of 1,000. I don't think it's bad enough. 5 out of 1,000. You're talking 1,000 people get something. 5 of them are gonna die. It's sad if that's true, but I don't think it's bad enough to lock down and destroy the economy. And just destroy people's lives, right? You gotta remember, some people couldn't see their kids when they're dying of cancer. Their kid would be reaching out behind a glass, like, "Daddy, can I see?" No, you guys gotta keep your social distance. Loved ones couldn't hold their family's hand as they're dying. People had to hug their grandmother through plastic sheets. Remember all this, right? And then they go die, right? They never got to see 'em. I had a friend, Media Bear. His wife got pregnant. He couldn't be there to watch her deliver the baby because of these stupid policies. He saw his other 3 kids get delivered. That's the first time he couldn't see his kid, and it really, bothered him a lot. Made him angry, made me angry. So you got to keep all this stuff in mind. You know, and do a cost benefit analysis, which we never did. But anyway, so take into consideration that, remember, they're telling people don't even come to the hospital unless you're like deathly ill. And they're trying to tell people not to even come to the hospitals. So what does that leave you with? That leaves you with the most sickest people coming to the hospital. So those are probably the only people getting tested out of that 1,000, right? It's the sickest people coming to a hospital. And let's say 5 of them die out of 1,000. Let's say you want to say even 10 out of 1,000. Let's just bump it up to an even 10. Let's pretend 10 out of 1,000. I think in this paper it actually says 5. Oh, I can't remember. I think another paper does say 5 out of 10,000, 5 out of 1,000 dead or something like that. But I can't really remember. But let's just say it's 10 out of 1,000. And those thousands are that 1,000 is basically the 1,000 that got tested, that came to a hospital. And remember, tests weren't that available at that time. So they would only test the people that came to the hospital, who were very, very sick, because they said that's the only people that should come to the hospital. So now all of a sudden they do these tests and they're like, well, it's actually 28 to 55 times more people could have it. So that means instead of just 1,000, 28,000. That means 10 out of 28,000 or 10 out of 55,000 are dying. That's very low. That's incredibly low. That's not what you were at first told about this, right? But see, look when this came out. April 20th. So now we know it's not as bad. Now, this is news. I'm working 70 hours a week. I don't have experts. I have 2 children that are also taking up my time. I also have a wife, and I have other things I got to get done. I can't hire people to do other things that I need done in my life, right? And on top of it, I'm taking what little free time I have to read some newspapers and try to figure out what's going on. Trump has advisors. Trump is primarily only talking and discussing about this for a few hours a day. He gets to sit there and talk to all these experts. Believe me, this was big news, and this did come across his desk that they did these tests. Now, he could have got a few different doctors' opinions. He doesn't have to listen to just Fauci. You listen to counter opinions, and you listen to Fauci argue with the counter opinions, but it doesn't sound like they ever did that, right? But people were bringing this to attention. People were making videos about this. I was making videos about this, but I was getting ran off of shows just like JP ran me off his show. So let's go ahead and play what JP said to me.
Is pagan. Brother, how about you come in here so I could cook you real quick, brother? You've been running your mouth, brother, and I've been wanting to humble you, brother. Come in real quick, brother. I lost my temper with you. Come in real quick, tough guy. Come in real quick. Come in real quick.
Why are doctors using this weird lamp to eliminate?
Okay, he's like, I tough guy. Oh, I'm so tough just because I'm saying this. Trump was bashing Sweden. Wasn't he bashing Sweden? Oh, you're so tough. You can read a newspaper. You're so tough, dude. I guess every nerd must be tough to JP. Because a nerd can read a newspaper, right? Anybody, a lot of people can. So JP thinks the average person's pretty tough because they can read a news. That's talking tough to him? Really? That's talking tough to you.
And never deal
I
with
can
the
read a
issue at its root.
newspaper.
You got 1 minute to come in. If not, I'm kicking you out of here.
Why are you getting so upset that I can read a newspaper? Like, what kind of moron are you? Like, that's all I'm doing is saying this stuff. This is, dude, this is just common sense. He could have wrote that into it. There's no guarantee he's going to win an election. You think something? JP,
You got 1 minute.
JP, let me ask you something. Do you think it like something that's rushed out in 9 months? That's a brand new product that's never been on the market before. How safe do you think it is? How many safety guidelines do you think it went through? Do you think it went through proper testing? Do you know long-term testing? How much do you know about it? I bet you if me and you just talked about this on my Rumble channel, I bet you would sound pretty dumb and pretty ignorant, right? So I'm someone that actually kind of read up about how this whole thing works and how this is put together. I spent several hours reading it, going through medical publications and things. Do you even know that RNA virus, it's almost impossible to make a vaccine for it? And do you know why? I'm just asking you these questions because you're Mr. Smart Guy, right? Or maybe you're not.
You've been running your mouth too much, brother. 1 minute. 1 minute. Step up. You run your mouth all the time, my brother. I have no love for you, brother. I love you in a general sense as a Christian man, but in regard to your politics and the way you've been running your mouth, come in here now. Come in here. I have no love for your stance. So come in here real quick.
Everything I said, keep this in mind. I'm showing you newspaper clippings of everything I put up there. I'm stating facts. I'm stating everything that's stated in newspapers. And he's saying he's got no love for what I'm saying politically wise, right? Well, what am I saying here politically wise? That he could have wrote this into warp speed? You got no love for that, JP? That seems reasonable. But he's got no love for that and for my political stance. He's got no love that for me saying that Trump was bashing Sweden. Dude, this is just reality. You don't have love for reality?
Mod, he has 1 minute. If not, get him out of here. He has 1 minute.
You can see how irrational
1 minute,
this guy is.
He's spreading a bunch of propaganda. He has 1 minute.
How's this propaganda? Now, I'm at work. I wind up taking the time to call him. And I'm listening to this on slight delay. So I wasn't able to know. I didn't even know he was asking me to come up there. But once I called up and I heard it, I took out the time to call him up. And then he's rude to me because he doesn't even let me speak. He keeps muting my mic. But look what he's calling propaganda. I read articles. Okay, I said this in the chat. You can see where I said this in the chat. Here's an article from The Hill. How's this propaganda? No, what this is truth, but JP is doing what the Bible says not to do, which is you don't call the truth a lie and the lie a truth. You don't call evil good and good evil. You don't call something propaganda that's not propaganda. Propaganda is misleading information. See, he lied to you. He says, oh, Chris is misleading you. JP, this is not misleading. I said Trump is bashing Sweden for locking down. I'm bringing this up. How am I misleading people? Now you're being evil, JP. You're speaking evil. The Bible condemns what you are doing. This is satanic, right? Because you're calling something good that's not. All right, that's evil. Okay, the Bible even calls it evil. You are doing evil. Are you even going to apologize?
He has 1 minute. Thank you for your message, brother. You will not be named. 60 seconds. He has 60 seconds. As a matter of fact, let me put this over here real quick.
And keep in mind, I have no idea. I'm listening to this on delay.
Let me put this timer here real quick. You got 60 seconds, my brother. 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds. You were running your mouth, my brother. You were running your mouth. I don't like when people run their mouths. I don't like it. You propaganda
He's saying
artists.
I'm running my mouth. Oh,
I don't like propaganda artists. I don't like them. They make me sick to my stomach.
you are a propaganda artist. Are you sick to your stomach when you look at yourself? Why don't you shut up, JP? Dude, this is not propaganda. You're a demon, dude. You're acting like a demon because you're acting like an insane person because you're calling things the opposite of what they are. How's this propaganda? Remember, propaganda is misleading information. That's the definition for the word propaganda. I brought it up. Let's see here. Here we go. Propaganda. See, it's got to be misleading. That's not misleading, right? Misleading is when I say something and it's actually something else. Okay, now I say, JP, you act like Trump wasn't in on forcing vaccines on America. Look at the 2015 Republican primary. Okay, so let's go look at that real quick. It only takes me a second to play this clip. So we can see CBS News. This isn't me reporting. CBS News, 2015 Republican debates, right? So we're going to see what he says.
I am totally in favor of vaccines, but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time.
So he wants smaller doses over a longer period of time. When have we ever seen something like that? I don't recall seeing something like that until 2020, right? Let's look at one more thing. See, I wrote that in the chats, right? And JP's calling this propaganda. Dude, this is not misleading information. This is right from the government's own website. He signed the modernizing flu vaccine. And I go into it even deeper into the video that's over on Rumble that got banned. Because I've actually found a little bit more new information. Right? And I mean, to me, that stuff's more alarming when it's put like that. I mean, I'm going to have to do it again. But see, right here, we can see March 10th of 2017. See, Trump is talking about this. See, the president vowed to speed. Look at this word right here. That word. This is off of Bloomberg News, right? See, Bloomberg. This isn't off of my website. This is off of Bloomberg News. Right here. Vowed to speed. The president vowed to speed. I don't want to know if I want to say all this. Miracle. But you can read it up on here. Because it's right around this area on my other video where I got banned, so I'm not sure what I said wrong. I'm just reading Bloomberg. So right there you can see that. So see right here, JP called this propaganda, and he called this propaganda. I just played you that clip, and I showed you where he did this exact thing. He signed this modernization act for the influenza, right? And it's like if you read that Bloomberg article, he did meet with a guy whose name ends in Gates, right? And his other name is Bill. And so, because I wonder if it's just saying that name alone that got it. I'm not sure. But anyway, never sure with these censors anymore. So, yeah, he met with him and the BG guy is talking about this. Trump and BG, Mr. BG.
You got 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds. Time is ticking, you gaslighting, manipulating machine.
Oh,
I don't like people that spread propaganda. Listen, I love Sir Walter Jones, Alton Johnson. I love him, but that man spits nothing but propaganda.
I don't even know why he brought those names up, because I never brought those names up. I don't even know who those people are. But maybe, JP, maybe he likes propaganda, but because he's calling something that's not propaganda, which means you wouldn't do that. Like, if you're if you're an honest person, you're not going to call, like, I'm not going to call something cold that's hot and hand it to someone. Oh yeah, this is nice and cold, and then they're screaming because it's actually red hot, right? It's like I don't do those things.
From the left doesn't mean he's a bad dude. All right, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So it doesn't mean that Sir Walter Jones.
So basically, because I didn't know he was talking about me, because like I said, I'm listening to this on delay. But you're basically banning someone from your chat because you're demanding that they come up on their show, and you're just assuming that they don't work, they don't have a job, they're just some loser. Because I get, maybe he's got a bunch of dumb losers that listen to his show, so he just figures, hey, everyone's a dumb loser that listens to my show, so I just demand you to come up here, right? So okay, so that would explain it,
Jones is a bad dude, but the sources that he gets are terrible.
But here, I'll go when I actually go on his
CNN
show.
Look who it is. It's the Kamala lover.
No, I don't like Kamala. Why do you just assume that just because I don't like Trump?
So then why are you manifesting like a demon? Trump won. So what's the issue? What?
Okay, so he's saying, okay, so think about this. He's calling what I wrote and I showed you all the proof of. He's saying that's manifesting of a demon. So he says speaking the truth is a demon. So now what's he doing is, it's like he's insulting the Holy Spirit, because I think the Holy Spirit is the spirit of truth. And you don't do that. That's getting close to blasphemy, when you're just like, you don't do this kind of thing, man. Dude, I'm a Christian that was saying nothing but truth. It's one thing if you're like, oh, I don't believe you, can you show me proof? But you're just calling something demonic. You don't have proof. You don't even have good arguments. Dude, I got proof. You might not like this proof, but what do you make of it? It sounds, you know what? I know you never even saw it. You're dumb and ignorant. So why don't you just be like, assume that you could be dumb and ignorant? Someone might have actually read something you didn't. Someone might have a brain that thinks a little bit better than you, comes to conclusions faster because they're using better information, and they've been studying this for a lot longer than you. Like, I've been studying this for probably 30 years now. All this stuff. And it took me a while to figure out, who's like the people at the top running everything. Because I got jerked around by people telling me Freemasons and all this other stuff. Trying to tell me Jews around the world, all this stuff. Maybe that's like 10 years of people, before I finally, go, oh, now I got it all figured out, right? Or I think I got it figured out. But it's honestly, I'm still open, right? But you're just sitting here just assuming things.
But
okay.
Why are you manifesting like a demon? Trump won.
Well, first of all, I don't like the fact that my sister is probably dead because of his vaccine, right? Because she couldn't get treatment. No, she was not allowed to.
Okay.
No, let me finish what I was gonna say, which he never lets me say. I was gonna say, and I did not know he was muting me because I'm driving, and I can't look down at anything. I gotta pay attention to the road. So anyway, I was gonna, if he would have let me finish my sentence, I was gonna say my sister couldn't get medical treatment, or she at least felt she was pressured to take the vaccine in order to get medical treatment, or this thing they're calling a vaccine.
So slow down. Let's not make this personalized. Donald Trump made it clear that there were alternatives to the vaccine. He was put in a no good situation.
No, he did not make it clear, because if he would have made it clear that there was alternatives, they couldn't use emergency use authorization, and you wouldn't let me tell you that because you muted my mic. You idiot, dude. Like, no, you don't know how this works. You were not allowed to talk about alternative cures, because if there was an alternative cure out there, then if any of his advisors or him, he would have said there's an alternative cure. Like, Trump never came out and said this is an alternative cure. He says, I heard this might be, and everyone's bashing him, making fun of him, and it's on purpose. It's designed, right? Because if you read everything that I had in that when I did this full video, and I'm reading it all, you can tell he's very excited about this. Like, from the 2015 primary, things he discussed with Bill Gates in 2017, things all these papers are saying, he's excited to be doing this. Like, this is on his mind. And then he signs it in 2019. That's not a conspiracy theory, dude. You're telling me it just happens to be that way?
By his advisors, such as Dr. Fauci. So don't get mad at Trump, get mad at Dr. Fauci. He was the person that was, Dr. Fauci was the one that was in charge of all of these things. He was the one that advised Donald Trump to do what he did. And Donald Trump was in a no good solution position.
Now, if he would have not had me on mute, he could have heard me say, but Trump could have had Fauci debate these doctors that were getting popular on internet, that everyone wanted to see him debate, or at least a lot of patriots wanted to see him debate some of these doctors, right? That said, oh no, we saw these antibody tests and we did these studies and these statistics are saying the opposite. You guys, when you were first came out with this thing, you were saying people were dying at this rate, but with these new antibody tests, here's all the data, and it's 28 to 55 times lower. And there's these doctors that wanted to debate them. There's these doctors that knew about the PCR, right, testing and how it worked. They wanted to debate Fauci on that. So the thing is, Trump, are you telling me like Trump just locks himself in an echo chamber? And maybe you make an excuse of him doing that, but that's not good leadership. And that's kind of what you're trying to do. Maybe that's why you think Trump's a good leader. Don't let other people speak, because this is the way you see. I guess you feel like Trump's reminds you a lot of you. Reminds you of you, right? Trump reminds you of you, right? Okay, I said that right. Sorry, getting a little tired. So you think that it's okay to just silence people. Oh, you said half of a sentence, and now I put you back on mute, Chris. And then you're going to talk for a while, and then you're never going to listen to the other side. So that's a lot like me trying to talk to Fauci or something like that, right? It's like, no, I'm saying let us have a debate, a conversation, so everyone can hear, and let these other people hear, and then let's hear feedback from everybody, right? But let's have an open discussion. Trump could have done that to make sure he knows he actually is doing the right thing. Don't just listen to one guy, Fauci. Don't just listen to just his team. Why don't we listen to various people that might be making good arguments? Keep going back. Okay, maybe Fauci sounds good for right now, but keep looking for other people and making sure and double checking that, Fauci actually is. And then when there's that much of a groundswell of people in April of 2020 demanding that Fauci debate one of these doctors that are opposing him, why don't you do it? See, no, this guy's making excuses because Trump could easily have done that. That's not good leadership.
Because had he not given the vaccine and people died, he would have been wrong.
No, and also think about this. If he's only listening to Fauci, think about Trump. he's talking about this in the 2015 primary. Let's say that there is no new world order in back of Trump or anything like that. No conspiracy theory. Maybe now, I don't think that's true. I think there's people backing him and the same people controlling both parties. But let's put that to the side for right now. Let's pretend that Donald Trump is just some guy talking about vaccines and boosters and things like that. And he's talking about that during the 2015 primary. And then, in 2017, we hear him being very excited about a universal vaccine, right? So when he's very excited about this and we're seeing these articles, maybe Trump is so dead set on this. And he's also talking about speeding up the medical processes. I showed you that little clip, or at least it's shown in my other video, where he's talking about, oh yeah, I want to speed up the processes, right? I don't know if it's here. Oh, because I think there's something where that's talking about speeding it up, where he says he wants to speed up the process. Well, anyway, I don't know where that's at. And my mind's kind of running together because I've done that video and everything. So I don't know why I said in this video and what I said in the other video. It's kind of blending together. But anyway, when he's talking about these speeding up processes, it looks like he's very dead set on wanting to advance the medical industry and in that particular area, right? And he's signing the Modernization Act. He seems like he's very focused on this one subject, right? And maybe someone that is so focused on that one subject and so focused on wanting to see it manifest into a reality, maybe he gets tunnel vision and only listens to the people that tell him what he wants to hear. So he just keeps advancing that goal. See, what he should have been doing was listening to other people. Let's not make excuses for him. Someone like him should have been thinking and listening to other people and inviting that. And why is JP fighting the fact that I'm suggesting that he should talk to other doctors and have doctors debate on this? No, not just one guy giving his whole opinion. Let's hear opposite sides debate so we can make sure that, right? Because isn't that what you do with like the Bible talks? It's like you listen to a once saved, always saved person debate someone that believes in conditional salvation. You listen to someone who believes in futurism, believing that Daniel's prophecy has already been fulfilled. You listen to both sides so you can see which side is bringing up the best arguments, right? But we don't just silence one side, and we don't go. And you would think there's something wrong when someone only listens to one side and refuses to listen to the other side. No, why don't we have an open debate and make sure that, what if one side can actually really bring up a lot better points than the other side? Then that shows more confidence that we're going the right direction.
Had he given people the vaccine, he would have still been wrong. He did give the vaccines. He would have still been wrong because Dr. Fauci was the one that was above him. So he gave alternatives. There were pills that he was telling people to take that the media said not to take. And now it has been proven that the pill actually helps people who contracted that virus. So miss me with that garbage. Miss me with that garbage, brother. With the whole Trump propaganda thing. I'm sorry your sister passed away. No need to make this personal.
But that wasn't propaganda. You said miss you with it. Miss you with the truth, right? Because I showed proof that everything I had said in that chat, I showed you proof. I showed you news articles. I showed you video articles. And I got a lot more. Information. I got information about William Barr, Brett Kavanaugh, all this deep state that Trump nominated. I got information that they were deep state. You want to go down that road with me? Dude, it's not just this one thing. There's multiple things. But this one subject alone, dude, there's nothing propaganda about it. I mean, especially if you ever go and watch one of my videos where I'm talking to the AI and debating the AI on it. I mean, it's clear. I mean, I make it very clear. I'm not going to go into everything I can say because there's no way YouTube would allow it. But that's very clear, you know. Well, maybe YouTube does. Actually, I might have that on you. One of them on YouTube, because one of the guidelines is if true information is being shared by one side, you can have, like, I can talk as long as everyone's hearing the other side. I think that's how that works. So that video might still be up and it might be allowed because I am openly asking the AI questions and it's answering them. All right. But to me, I think that video is kind of incriminating for their side and for your side.
But what I am saying is that you're trying to project on Trump and blame this on Trump. It wasn't Trump's fault.
Locked down and made that decision. Why couldn't Trump make the same sorts of decisions that
The reason that Trump
No, you cut me. You had me on mute, buddy, and you needed to see. I didn't know. He picks me up in my mid sentence, and then he doesn't even let me finish my sentence. Because if I could have at least finished my thought, you could have heard the first part of my sentence, right? First part of my sentence was that it was something to the effect of, and I think if it wasn't the first part, it's the last part of my sentence. I had a similar thing going on in both parts of it. Is where I'm saying that he could have talked to other doctors and then had these doctors talk to each other, is basically what I was trying to say, and make an informed decision by hearing two opposite sides talk. But let's see what he says.
Trump locked down, the reason that Trump locked things down was because he was advised to lock things down, because they were saying that this said virus was going to kill everybody. So his health advisors told him that. So he followed the advice of his health advisors. That is why. Okay.
Okay, see, I wanted to explain, but see, you can't even see that he's muting my mic because it doesn't show up on the screen, right? But he's muting my mic. My mic's muted. I'm thinking I'm responding, and then all of a sudden I start to hear him talk. So I try to finish up what I'm saying real quick. But what I'm trying to answer that there's doctors that did antibody test. Why wasn't he? I know he had to read those articles. That was front page news. There's just no reason, dude. I'm just some guy that's working a lot, that's just scared and trying to figure out what we need to do for my family, right? And I'm scared that they're going to mandate this thing. So I am working very hard, and I'm also very angry because there's a lot of people staying at home that could have done, instead of, you're not working a job, you got 8 hours at least that you're not working your job, since you're staying at home getting paid on my tax money, because you're not working. There's nothing getting taxed about you. I'm the one working. I'm the one that's even getting messed over and not getting hero pay like I'm supposed to. Hey, JP, since you think this was so serious, can I see the videos where you're like, man, we got to do something for those essential workers like Chris, who are risking his life? Because is there one video where you're even concerned? No, you're not concerned. You're just concerned about your propaganda. Where's Trump at, since he thinks this is such a serious virus, and all these people in government who are supposedly caring about us? Why aren't they pushing for hero pay? I thought this was a scary virus. What's up with that, boy? See, I don't get to ask you these questions. All right? I mean, I don't get to ask these questions. So it's like, man, dude, it's like, this is crazy that you don't let me talk. Crazy, man. It's like, dude, this is just some kid that is just running his mouth. And this is so angry, man. It's like, and it's like right here, I don't
Yeah,
get
let me.
anymore.
Do you remember Trump taking credit for the vaccine rollout? If he wanted to take credit, then he shouldn't wear the blame when it comes his way. Yeah, he took credit because he was advised that that was the right thing to do.
You watch that video, man. That's more than like he was advised that was the right thing to do, dude. Come on now, from 2015, from the Republican primary, and all that other stuff I've ever played, and that video is full of links if you want to even see more arguments and more proof and everything, dude. Back in what was it? Let's see if I can find that, because I'm not gonna play these videos. But right here, I got this short one, Mask from 2020, January 30th. You go watch that video on Rumble, and I play this clip at the end of the video, towards the end of it, because I had some guy on who came on for like about 30 minutes, and he wanted to talk about the gospel and stuff, and I didn't want to tell him no, because he was a new Christian, very excited about it, but so towards the end, but I do sneak in this clip. If you don't want to, find it, you gotta just go on my Odyssey page and search it. But I have this, and basically everything that people like me said about mask, we see government officials agreeing with us on January 30th. In fact, they said you shouldn't do it because all you're going to do is scare people. It's not going to be, what's that word? It starts with an E and it's like effective E, right? It's not going to be that. That's what they said, right? So if it's not effective, then why do it? That's what they were saying. And we were seeing these officials in this video say that, right?
Be the case. So we
just to let you know, I mean, that's what that was the name of the video that I was playing. And that's back in January 30th of 2020. And all of a sudden they went against what start saying the exact opposite that these doctors would say. All these health professionals and everything were saying. They said it was worse if you try to do that. So that's why I didn't wear one. Oh yeah, see, I have this video right here. Look at this. See, in this video, it said there was only 1,000 cases originally, but now it's 8. So that means 80 times more people had COVID than what was originally reported. So that means it's 80 times less deadly if you do the math. 80 times less deadly. If it's 80 times less deadly, just ask yourself, should you be locking down? But that's not me saying it. That's what's up on the screen. I'm just reading what's up on the screen from the Santa Clara, California test that was done around April 20th of 2020. Oh, April 17th. Look at that. Even earlier. From where? ABC News. Right. All you have to do is put 2 and 2 together. Can you do a little math? What if something's 80 times safer, 80 times less deadly? Should you be locking out? See, JP, all you had to do was just do a little research, not be lazy. And this doesn't take much to figure out. Can you do math? There was 1,000 cases, and you had like maybe 5 out of 1,000 dying in Santa Clara, California. Now all of a sudden, you find out 80,000 more people. There was 80,000 instead of 1,000 cases. That's 80 times more. That's 80 times less death, right? That's all you have to know. And then yet Trump sees this on April, like I showed you that date, April 17th. And Trump did see this. Don't think that this isn't big news. This was big news right then. Maybe you're playing video games, because I know you like to play video games, and you're vegging out and you're being lazy and you're not thinking and you don't have critical thinking, and maybe you're a slow thinker anyway, and you're incapable of thinking this, and that's okay if there's people like that out there, but kind of slow down getting angry and just calling people propaganda artists if you're slow. That's all I'm saying. If you're slow and dumb, hold your tongue for a minute. Be humble. Like, go, well, maybe I am dumb. You think that to yourself. Like, question, go, am I dumb? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the dummy here. Let me listen to this person. But this was the problem, because people like me are trying to talk, and people like you during 2020 are censoring me, going, no, Trump knows what he's doing. Shut up. I remember getting yelled at to shut up. You Democrat, how can you say Trump might be doing the wrong thing? Shut up. You're a Democrat. Dude, you guys are crazy. You guys are, and that shows you how insane he is. You can't even be reasonable by calling me a propagandist. Because that is totally not the right even words. It's got to be misleading information. Well, if I state that these articles were written, I state that these things were said in videos, I play them on a show, I show every article on the screen, you can't call it that. You cannot call it that. I mean, I got all kinds of information. And see, I was working with these people. These people were actually asking Trump, hey, can you talk to us? There was these, Dr. Pierre Corey. I was one of the people that was trying to have like a rally to try to get people to rally to have Trump talk to Pierre Corey, because he was one of the doctors that was out in this field that had treatments, right? See, this is called the frontline COVID. Frontline critical care, or is it frontline COVID care? I can't remember what those initials stand for, man. It's been a minute. I could type their name, but I just know it's like these doctors that were out in the field. They had nothing to use, and they're like, well, let's repurpose this particular drug, and they tried it, and it's like they thought it was very successful. They thought. I'm not going to say whether I thought it was or not. They seem to think it was. They seem to have a lot of proof. They had data and charts, and they were like, can we please talk to Fauci and have a debate with him and debate about this? Because we think, see, you got to think they're actually like getting mad because they think people are actually dying from this, and they think they have treatments for it. And at the time, our government was saying there's no treatments, and these people are like, I don't want to see people die when I know this thing works. I know this certain thing we're doing is working, but they could not admit that it was working, because if they did, you would lose emergency use authorization. So when Trump's acting like he's so excited about having this universal flu vaccine and advancing medical care and speeding up the process, and he's getting rid of the food and regulations in the Food and Drug Administration, which I showed you in that video that's over on Rumble. I showed you all this. When we see Trump getting excited about that, maybe maybe there's an ulterior motive. I'm not saying there is. Maybe there is. Maybe does he got investments? I don't know. Does he got friends with investments? I don't know. He's a rich guy. He knows a lot of people with a lot of money. And he is the president. Is someone maybe getting rich off this? I don't know. These are just thoughts that fly through people's minds, not through mine. I'm just saying I've heard them fly through other people's minds, and maybe it flew through mine also. I'm trying to keep this real safe here, but all I'm saying is it looks real fishy when you got these doctors pleading with Trump if they could just have a debate with some of staff or present these arguments. They just want to have a chance to present this to the public and present this to other people and have an open debate and show the data they got. They just want to be able to show it. They don't want to be censored. See, they kept getting censored, and they keep pleading, can we please just show this to people in a more public forum, And it's like, no, we're gonna try and make sure no one hears about you. Because they had videos they try to release, their videos would get taken down and all this other stuff. And I was trying to help promote these people. And these are people that believe that they're, COVID really was a very serious thing, but they felt like they had this for it. Right? They felt like they had a good protocol. There was a doctor named Dr. Mobeen. He's like this I don't know if he's Indian. I don't think he's Indian, but he it's like Mobeen, Dr. Mobeen. And I was listening to him, and he actually teaches classes about all that kind of stuff, the workings of cells and immunity and all this other stuff, right? Some very technical stuff, but he does great videos because he does these drawings, and I feel like it's easy for someone like me to follow who is not a medical student. And I would listen to his shows and stuff, and he brought up some of these people, and he's someone that was acting very scared of this whole thing. So right, so this is someone, and he even goes and gets the Trump injection once it comes out, right? And he seemed like he was kind of excited about it, and then later on he seemed very less excited about it, right? But here he is talking about these treatments, but even he was getting frustrated, going, why aren't they letting us talk? Why won't Trump listen to people like Pierre Corey and things like that? These doctors are getting frustrated. So no, Trump wasn't doing all these good things you think he's doing. Whatever he said and tried to say that Trump's trying to tell us about other treatments, no, he wasn't. Because can you show me how he was promoting Pierre Corey at all, or this FLCCC? Did Trump ever bring them up and say, "Oh, they got some good ideals"? Because I know he knows their name, but did he ever bring them up at all? Because there were so many people trying to bring him up. Unless you were on purposely trying to avoid it, there's no way you would not hear about this. Doesn't make any sense. People just desperately just trying to save people's lives, man, because they think this is real, right? And it's like me, I got mad because at first I didn't know if there was something real going on out there, and I'm getting frustrated. And people don't think that, the Democrats are the ones that wanted this. No, it's Trump. And if you play my video, something about, which video of that is it on Rumble? Oh yeah, this one on Rumble. Get ready, many of you refuse to wake up. If you go, actually, you need to go to the 1 hour and 47-minute mark. 1 hour and 47-minute mark on this video. You can also see where I got the timeline and everything I'm going through, the Moderna vaccine timeline. But then earlier, let's see here, there's a certain part in this video. This video, man, someone, if you just watch this video, you'll see that I don't have propaganda. But if you go to the 27-minute mark, I'm not going to play this part. What were they saying? But if you go to the 27-minute mark, montage up here somewhere, there's this video where you got all these Democrats saying the opposite that you think they would be saying, right? Because you think the Democrats were scared of the virus. Go to the 26-minute mark and 27-minute mark, right? Of this video I got on Rumble called Get Ready, Many of You Refuse to Wake Up. Go to that and play that Democrat video. Because what it was a video a Republican made at the time saying Democrats give terrible CV-19 advice, right? I don't know if I even want to say that word. That's up on the screen. But Democrats give really terrible advice, right? What was that advice? Okay, so I showed you that that tweet of Ivanka Trump, where she says her dad's working on this, right? And we can see all these things about Donald Trump seeming very hyped up about wanting to create a vaccine, right? Donald Trump was very excited about it. If you play that clip and you go to that 27-minute mark, look at what these Democrats are saying. They got the opposite attitude of Donald Trump. They're not wanting to lock down. Yeah, you go watch that, and that's a real. So you can't go, well, the Democrats were pressuring them. I love playing that clip whenever someone goes, the Democrats were pressuring them. Play that clip. In your face, no, they weren't. And all Donald Trump had to do is, if he did keep everything open, every time they go to complain, it's like, no. Remember when they kept saying, well, Donald Trump wouldn't lock down fast enough? Why wasn't this clip ever played? This clip should have been played every single time those Democrats cried that, oh, you should have locked down sooner. No, because you guys were at the same place listening to the same advisors saying the same things. Donald Trump is getting scared, and he's the one saying that we should lock everything down. He kept saying that over and over again. Right? Let's close the borders. Let's lock things down. Then you had Bernie Sanders saying, no, you're a xenophobe. All the Democrats saying you're a xenophobe. Hey, come out to Mardi Gras. That's what the Democrats were saying. Trump, no, don't go out to Mardi Gras. It's scary. Donald Trump was actually bashing the Republicans that were trying to open up their states. Just like he was bashing Sweden. But people will only remember what they want to remember. Well, he told the Democrats, though, to open up. But he yelled at the Republicans who did open up. You guys see, you guys have very selective hearing because you're not listening to everything being said. The people who are likely to open up, he's bashing them for opening up. The Republicans, like in Florida and everywhere, and the people that are likely to stay closed down, New York, Michigan, California, Rhode Island, he's yelling, New Jersey, he's yelling at them saying, you need to open up. And then when the press gets a hold of it, it's like, oh, look at this, he's telling the Democrats to open up. But those same CNN doesn't play it where Trump is telling the Republicans it's horrible, don't open up. Right? So he's bashing the Republicans that are opening up, but CNN never plays that. They only play the clips of Trump telling the Democrat states to open up. And you patriots in those states, you fight. But other states, he's not saying that. In other states, he's saying the exact opposite. But then it's like only the conservative places would only play where he's telling the Democrats to open up. So it sounds like it's almost like they want him. It's almost like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he wants it open up here and he doesn't want to open up here, but you're playing it for select crowds. CNN, you play it where he's telling the Democrat states to open up. And well, that's all that really got played. But there are clips of him where he's telling the Republican states to shut down. Just like he told Sweden. Why is he going to tell? Why would he tell Sweden that they're going to pay a heavy price for shutting down? If anyone is arguing with me, is thinking to argue with me, why would he? If he wasn't telling these Republican states, and you think I'm misremembering things, if he's not telling these Republican states, bashing them for opening up, why would he be bashing Sweden? You would be thinking that he'd be praising them, but he's not. He's saying that they'll pay a heavy price. There's actually video clips of that. I have videos of him saying that. All you got to do is just listen to those videos. I spent many, many hours, much more hours than you would if you just went through my library and watched the videos. So, and there's my strike, just so people know. Yeah, I really did get a strike for that video. See, there it is. And it's that video right there, right? So, oh, yeah, I'm glad someone thinks so too. So, Adrian says, the devil knows that the Bible admonishes us to speak humbly and with love, but the devil also knows what pushes our buttons. This doesn't mean our outrage is unjustified, but it's being used against. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So he says, I take it that the host video is still there, which is confusing. If you're talking about JP's video, yeah, well, okay, so JP's video is there because my video got took down, but it was for other things. It was for me. I think what it was I was reading an article and then I mentioned BILLGATES's name while I was in the because I paused and said that name and then kept reading the article, and maybe that triggered something in the AI algorithms or something. I was thinking maybe someone cried and flagged the video, but because of it could be someone cried and flagged the video because it is a really weird spot, and I don't see what I said wrong in it. You know, I mean, that does happen. So I have a hard time knowing, because if someone was, watching it and they just, randomly decide to stop at that spot and flag it, because I just don't see what I said wrong. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that maybe I said a few words too close together, and that triggered an algorithm. Like, you can't say BILLGATES's name too close to the word VACCINE, right? You can't say those words too close together. So that might have been what triggered it. If it's on, they're doing AI automatic censorship, which I know what's going on. I just don't know what degree. And I tell you what, man, this AI is way more advanced than what people think it is. Because I got a hold of it, and when it was more in its like beta phase, and that thing would do some like wild things. Very wild things. But I think that's about it, because I don't want to say too much more. I can get my video banned. It went an hour. I made enough points, and people can just go watch the show on Rumble. I think I pretty much I said enough. I there's a lot. I'm a little bit more ruthless in that other video. But I guess from now on, if I do a video like this, it's probably safer just to take and do like a 5-minute video and then tell people, if you want to see more of it, just keep going, or just go on the Rumble. I might do things like that in the future so I don't get banned. So thanks for watching. Anyone that watched again, I don't know. I hope I didn't put you through too much of saying the same thing over and over again, or it wasn't my intention. That other video was mainly meant to be just be a test video. I didn't mean to talk that long. But if you like, I also got many links in that video I got on Rumble. I have these links in the description section of all the various videos like this one, and it's showing you that like early on I was basically going through all this data, right? Saving these things, because this you'll never see again. They took this off the website. And actually, the only way I could find it was the Wayback Machine. But the way I had to use it was really, like, I had to guess at some of these letters, what they could possibly be at the extension. And I felt like I was lucky. I was just so determined and spent hours guessing at these last few letters to try to make a good extension. so I could possibly find a Wayback link, because they had scrubbed it. Even like I should have been able to just go to the Wayback Machine and hit like a link, or copy and paste the link and go back there, and it wouldn't let me. And it because they really scrubbed it like really good from the Wayback Machine. It's really hard for me getting all the details because I'm not remembering them all anyway. But like I said, I've made videos early on trying to explain to people how they changed the definition of vaccine in August of 2020. I doubt JP even knows that stuff. Almost no truther can tell you off the top of their head when they changed it. And a lot of them don't even know. But I know because I did this particular video. Because this was one of the ways I was going to attack it. Because I was like, well, if you change the definition of a word after you write a contract, you must maintain the same definition that was in use prior to the contract being written. You cannot change the definitions of words once a contract's written. Could you imagine, like, you're trying, like, oh, our Constitution can be overthrown because we'll just have Webster's dictionary overthrow our entire Constitution by just redefining all the words in the Constitution. You can't do that. It's got to be like the generally understood terms at the time that the contract was written. So I thought they should be able to get in trouble for this, right? There's actually a law on the books about that. And that becomes a mislabeled product when you label it a vaccine, and if it's not, right? If you label something, if you I'm transferring zinc across the border, but it's actually acid, I could get in trouble. I could get in big trouble for that. There's interstate commerce laws, and so I felt this could possibly fall under it. I was looking up all these laws on the books to see what we could do and all this stuff. What else did I do? Oh yeah, this video here.
Coronavirus.
You can see me go right onto the CDC website. So I'm reading statistics off their website. And I'm doing this on a very slow computer. And I did this April 29th, 2020, going through all their death statistics and things like that. Showing you and trying to answer this question right here. Are there really more deaths this year? Right? A thing probably most people wouldn't do, because who wants to go and do Excel and type in all these numbers and figure out all this math and read, what looks to be a very boring part of the CDC website. Most people don't do this stuff. So, I mean, it's like for him just to sit there and just act like, oh, this is just some guy that's just running his mouth and making things up off the top of his head. To me, that's what he really sounded like, and it's really insulting. And he's part of the problem with this country. That's why this country has this like cognitive dissonance problem. You got these people right here saying this thing equals this. And then you got Donald Trump over here saying we saved millions of lives with the vaccine. So he's calling you stupid. No, stupid. I'm saving millions of lives with my vaccine. I'm saving them. I'm the one who did it. I'm the one that forced the FDA to pass this. I'm the one. I told him I got mad at, what was it, Dr. Hahn, and said, Hahn, you listen to me. I'm not, and so if that's true, you should be mad at him because he's bragging that he forced the FDA to approve this. You should be mad at him because I brought up those articles that showed you that Donald Trump got rid of regulations in the FDA because there was like that Democrat publication back in 2017 or 2018 in that video. I showed you that publication where that Democrat paper is getting mad at him for removing the FDA regulations, right? Those same regulations allowed for this because he's lightening the regulations because he says he wants to speed things up. And he's talking about how he wants to make everything different for kids and everything. And here you guys go waving his flag, holding this sign, yet he's saying this. So he's calling you stupid. And he's like, no, stupid. We're saving millions. See, complete cognitive dissonance. No, I'm just going to believe that you're Savior and you're actually saving us and you don't really mean what you're saying and what you're doing and everything you're signing. No, you don't mean it. I want to believe that you are this great hero that's not doing everything over here. And we're going to wave your flag and just totally ignore reality. Which is what JP does. Like, why defend these people? Why? I mean, it just makes no sense.
Millions of lives, and soon spring we're going to be in a position that nobody, and Moderna vaccine almost immediately thereafter, and nation from the FDA, and we're pushing them hard.
Oh yeah, this
threatening the head of the FDA that he must act now or lose his job.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Because FDA would have never been able to do what they did, but I forced them to do.
Nonetheless, the president is threatening the head of the FDA that he must act now or lose his job. President Trump is demanding fast action from the FDA on a vaccine. He tweeted that it was a money-drenched big old slow turtle, adding, "Get the damn vaccines out now, Dr. Hahn. Stop playing games and start saving lives." And White House...
See? I'm not making this stuff up. And there's that person holding that sign. You know, it's just unbelievable to me. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's at 1 hour, 11 minutes.